It's time for Dodger baseball.
What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show after the Dodgers season ends at the hands of the San Diego Padres. You can't call him little brother no more. That is retired. I don't never want to hear that again. You can't call the Padres little brothers. The Dodgers, an utter embarrassment in this series. They can't even take it to 5 games. You couldn't even force a 5th game. Tyler Anderson was dealing. He was out there doing work. And, of course, we have the genius Dave Roberts. You have the genius Andrew Friedman doing all these puzzle moves, these chess moves, and moving this bullpen around. Well, guess what? The bullpen is not always going to have it. The more relievers you use, the higher the chances are that one of those guys isn't going to be able to perform. But Tommy Kahnle, he didn't have it tonight. I thought Chris Martin, of course, he got that big punch out there to Myers. But we're going to break the entire game down. But this season was an absolute disappointment. I don't care about 111 wins at this point. It's all for naught. There is no ring for an 111 win season. There is no parade for a 111 win regular season. There is no banner. It doesn't count for anything because guess what? You lost to an 88 win Braves team last year. You couldn't even take it to 7 games with that one. And in the following season, you lost to an 89 win Padres team. So this is an absolute disappointment. And here's the cold hard truth. You guys know that nobody bleeds blue more than me. You guys know that nobody loves the Dodgers more than me. I've loved them ever since birth for years, ever since I learned what baseball was. But guess what? The whole cold hard truth is the 2022 Los Angeles Dodgers are one of the most disappointing and underachieving teams in the history of Major League Baseball. Hey, guess what? At least the 2001 Mariners advanced to the ALCS. The Dodgers couldn't even win a round. A 111-win Dodger team couldn't win a round. And you guys keep blowing up the comment section because I'm going to get to all your comments. I don't care how long this show takes because I'm going to get to your takes. But, of course, I have a lot that I want to get off my chest. But, hey, guess what? Next year when the Dodgers are winning and everyone's posting, oh, this is the run differential is this, the win total is this, they have the greatest road record, it means nothing. You build a team to win in the postseason. Juan Soto had a big base hit there to get a rally going. And guess what? Oh, the Dodgers, they weren't aggressive at the trade deadline. But guess what? The teams that were aggressive at the trade deadline, the San Diego Padres and the Philadelphia Phillies, where are they going? That's right. They're in the NLCS. The Dodgers, they sat on their hands and they didn't do anything. We got to keep Bobby Miller. We got to keep Diego Cartaya. We got to keep all these prospects. Well, guess what? What do I always say? Give me parades over prospects any day. Because the reality is, when you consider the resources of this organization, when you consider everything they have from the money to the location to the players to the roster construction, the fact that they have won 60-game World Series in this stretch, this is a underachieving organization. I don't ever want to hear the term "in Friedman we trust." Andrew Friedman has to earn our trust back because the reality is they put so much stock into some of these injured players like Walker Buehler is going to come back and Blake Trinan is going to perform well. Blake trying to give that bomb to Jake Cronenworth. He was meaningless in this series. So definitely fired up because, look, this Dodger team should not have lost to this Padres team. But guess what? The Dodgers, they were sipping their own Kool-Aid. They thought they were this great team. Freddie Freeman said, oh, the Dodgers have been hot for 7 months. You averaged 3 runs per game in a 4-game, and you couldn't even force a 5th game. The Dodgers averaged 3 runs per game. They were pitiful with runners in scoring position. No, very minimal clutch hits. Even tonight, they were able to get some runs early on. They were able to go up 3-0 in this one, but they blew it. Now, I want to ask you guys, do you consider this a choke, and is this the most painful postseason loss in the history of Dodger fandom? So let me know down below, because, look, we had Dave Roberts, too. Don't forget Dave Roberts. I guarantee the Dodgers are going to win the World Series. Was he talking about the Little League World Series? Was he talking about the World Series of poker? Because he sure as hell wasn't talking about the Major League Baseball World Series, because the Dodgers, they couldn't even sniff the CS. Okay, so the Dodgers are an early exit, and guess what? Andrew Friedman, I'll be honest with you, there was an interview with Andrew Freeman a few weeks ago where he was talking about, how at the trade deadline with the expanded teams, the market was so expensive and da-da-da, his rehearsed answers like he always has. And the reality is the Dodgers could have used another starting pitcher. If you guys go back to a show I did back in June, I said, if the Dodgers don't trade for an impact starting pitcher, they're not going to win the World Series. And guess what? Even if they got past this series, would you trust their starting pitching moving forward? But we're going to break down this entire game, and I want all your takes. What did you think about Dave Roberts' management today? Clearly, and like I said, we're going to break it all down. We're going to get right into it. But yeah, this Dodger team, hey, they break your heart again and again and again and again. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not happy with just the 2020 60-game World Series. Even if even if the regular season in 2020 was 1,000 games, I don't think Dodger fans should be happy with one World Series, because right now, I mean, they're probably behind the Atlanta Braves, and they're pretty much in the conversation with the Buffalo Bills of the 90s. This team has grossly overachieved, and this series was an embarrassment. You lose to a Padres team that you took 14 of 19 games from, that you owned in the regular season. This team has a lot of questions to answer, but they just didn't step up. And you know what really pains me? If every game there was a lot of close games, but it just felt like the Padres, it's such a cliche, but it really felt like the Padres wanted it more. Mookie Betts, he's milk box Mookie? Like I said last week, like I said over the weekend, I'm happy that Mookie can bowl a 300, but I would much rather see him hit 300 than bowl 300, because he was a no-show in this series, and we know that this team goes as Mookie goes. But let's get into your comments, guys. If you're new to the show, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel, because we're going to be dropping content all off season long, because we need some wholesale changes. This group, this core, Justin Turner, time to go. Dodgers legend. Yes, he's played in a lot of games in the postseason, so he's a lot of the Dodgers records. That's why he holds those. But really, he's hit under 200 for a long time in the postseason. The Dodgers should not pick up his option, because I question the leadership. I question the leadership in that clubhouse, and it starts with Dave Roberts. It starts with the players. And I definitely don't think that this is a team that was hungry enough to win in this series. And the reality is, hey, there is no Dodgers dynasty. You can't call the Padres little brother anymore. That's over. Don't even think about it. You can't even call it Dodger Stadium South anymore, because guess what? There's a lot of Padres fans there. I didn't see it being Dodger Stadium South. But should the Dodgers fire Dave Roberts? Let me know down below. Who would you want to see as the manager? Like I said, he guarantees the Dodgers are going to win the World Series. Maybe he meant the Little League World Series. I have no idea. But Fraudman out from Justin Lamas. Time to clean management from Frank J. Pryor for manager. Dave Roberts got to go. Cut all of them. Look, there are a lot of nice guys. But let's be honest, man. I mean, a lot of nice guys on this team, but definitely need some more fire and some more passion, because, yeah, I mean, this team just was not playing with the spark this entire series. And even in this game, they definitely got to Joe Musgrove, like I said they would. They definitely got some better. Obviously, Freddie Freeman, he did his thing. Trey Turner had the big double there. We're going to break it all down. But, yeah, just not enough from this Dodger team. In the bullpen, Tommy Kennedy didn't come through. Alex Vesia, I see people out there trashing Alex Vesia. This is not on Alex Vesia, man. First of all, the man was hurried in his warm-up. And, yes, would I have liked to see him go with the hard stuff against Cronenworth on the go-ahead 2 RBI single there, but I definitely would have, but still, I'm not putting this on Alex Vesia. But here we go. Let's get into your comments, guys, and I know you guys are loading up, and keep coming with them, because I want to hear all your takes down below. Did the Dodgers choke? Is this the most painful series? What's up, D-Mac? Why Canely? Wrong decision by Dave Roberts. Look, if there's a wrong button to push in a game like this, Dave Roberts is probably going to push that button. Just ask Rich Hill in 2017. Just ask Rich Hill in 2018. Just ask Game 5 of the 2019 NLDS. That was a complete catastrophe. And this is another bad black stain on Dave Roberts' managerial career this game. Because, look, this strategy was never going to work. That's the funny thing about all of this. Because even if the Dodgers were able to advance, this idea where pitchers are going 4 innings, 5 innings, and then you have to rely on your bullpen to get you 4 innings and piece together those 27 outs. And Tony Gonsolin, I never want to see him start a postseason game for the rest of my life. They didn't have the requisite pitching to even put themselves in a position to be able to go deep into this postseason run. Julio Urias didn't pitch that great. Clayton Kershaw, good average starts. He was in trouble too. So no one pitched great except for Tyler Anderson. And the guy that does, yes, he was close to 100 pitches. But if you look at that situation, you have the lefties coming up in the next inning in the sixth, and you throw Tyler Anderson out there and you go one out at a time. And that's kind of the big issue I have with this team. It's too push button. It's not. You don't manage with the instincts and the heart. And look, Tyler Anderson is a guy that once he settles in, we've seen him do it all season long. He's the guy that was the massive big innings eater for this team. And I have no doubt in my mind that Tyler Anderson's a guy that can go out there and get more innings. And then you say, well, Chris Martin, he did take care of business there in the sixth, and there's no question about it. But, yeah, I mean, he still gave up a few hits. But if you look at that top of the sixth inning, you would have him out there, lefty. He would have faced Machado. Then if lefty had him face Juan Soto, then Machado, then Drury. So yeah, they didn't like the lefty-righty matchup. That's all they do. It's just the silliest. Like, it's genius theory, man. You know what genius theory is? It's when guys do things because they want you to think they're a genius. No, just let these guys go out there and perform. This is sad real talk from Southside Compton over on YouTube. I never would say this. No offense from L. Word. He would have extended Trey. Belly must go. Fire Dave Roberts. Walks killed us. That's from Craig Osterberg. Yeah, I mean, they cashed in on the walks, and the one that really hurt the Dodgers in this one was, so yeah, Chris Martin comes in and to pitch that sixth inning, first batter Soto, and look at Chris Martin. That was a rocket shot. That Chris Martin hit off of Soto, and then Machado gives up the single to Manny Machado. So would you have wanted to see Tyler Anderson go against Manny Machado in that game? I mean, I think when you consider the fact that and he did give up the single to Machado earlier in that one. But, yeah, I mean, I'd like the idea of just bringing Tyler Anderson back out there and seeing what he can do. But Roberts ain't the problem. He's playing – he can – I mean, a lineup full of all-stars. D-Mac _ fire Dave Roberts from Adolfo. D-Mac, I'm hurting too. We're all hurting, guys. We'll get through this together, and we'll find a way to do what we can. Our idea is how to fix this team. But Mookie is overrated. Jonathan Nelson, yeah, look – I'm a big fan of Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is a great player, but the thing about Mookie Betts is this. Before the season started, you told Sports Illustrated in your interview before the season, said, well, what's your goal? I want to make it the Hall of Fame. You want to make it the Hall of Fame, Mookie Betts? You want to make it the Hall of Fame? Well, guess what? You hit 143 in this series, and the Dodgers, they win when Mookie scores. When Mookie scores runs, the Dodgers win. He hit 143. Last week, you had your birthday party, Jimmy Kimmel, you're bowling. Guess what? In this town, it's about the Mamba mentality. Would Kobe Bryant be doing that? The answer, F no. Okay? F no. All right? And I don't care that I'm not saying, yeah, players are going to be players. I get it. They can't spend their entire existence studying film and being in the batting cages. They have to live a life as well. But I think the Dodgers didn't respect their opponent in this series. I fully believe that they thought, hey, we dominated the Padres. We're going to cruise. And I think that they went out to dinner at the Palms and this and that and down. No, look, this team, they did not respect this Padres team, and this was their World Series, and who knows, maybe even the Padres can get back to the World Series and win the World Series. And I just think this whole nonchalant attitude, it starts at the top. And yeah, Mookie Betts, you're going to party like that? That's fine. You're going to bowl every day? That's fine. But the optics of it aren't good when you hit 143. 143 is what Mookie Betts hit in the NLDS. And yeah, tonight, a better night from Trey Turner, of course. But yeah, I just think that Mookie, it starts with your leader. And when your stars don't perform well, it's not going to happen for you. And in this case, Mookie Betts, he didn't show up. If you've seen Mookie Betts, please return him to Petco Park ASAP. I would really appreciate that because I haven't seen Mookie Betts since maybe August. I mean, he struggled all down the stretch in September. So, yeah, we'll see. We got Crushed. That's from Jordan Lyles. Yeah, so, yeah, we talk about those walks. And so, yeah, bottom of the sixth inning, Chris Martin, he gets Soto to hit that rocket shot, that glove. that goes right in the glove of Freddie Freeman. Then he gives up the single to Manny Machado. Then Drury, he grounds into a fielder's choice to short, and they get the lead runner with Machado for the second out. And then with 2 outs and Drury on first, Cronenworth gets an infield single, and right there not much that Trey Turner could do. Dodgers just put the shift on, and it was really interesting because they didn't do that until the count was at 2-2, so a 2-2 count. So it get burned him there, and then with runners on first and second, Chris Martin gets Myers swinging with an elevated fastball. So nice job by Chris Martin to go out there and get the Dodgers out of that inning after giving up some hits. But then you jump to top of the seventh inning. Let's get more of your takes, guys. I want to hear everything you have to say. Bye Trey, bye Belly, bye Roberts. That's from Dan. Any of you guys want to re-sign Trey Turner? Do you want to re-sign bring back? I mean, yeah, this could be the last time you see a lot of these guys. I mean, Tyler Anderson probably get the qualifying offer, but he'll probably, I think hopefully they bring him back because you can trust him. And then you got Cody Bellinger. The fact they don't start him against a right-handed pitcher, that tells me the writing is on the wall. They're going to go with James Outman. Maybe they'll make a run at Aaron Judge. And then Trey Turner, he's going to walk. There just doesn't seem like the Dodgers either want to pay him or just not a natural fit. And when you look at his defense, he'd probably be playing shortstop for like 3 or 4 years. Wasn't that great at second base, so would you even want him there? He probably ends up in the outfield at some point, so I don't anticipate them signing him. Blow it up. D-Mac, we got Chris Taylor sucked badly. I mean, we can go down the list, and we will for sure at some point. So, yeah, you guys, more about Carlos Correa, it seems like. Dave Roberts needs to go. Blow it up. Get better starting pitching from Silver Stock. D-Mac, you said little brother. D-Mac, you said little brother, no more. Man, these comments are coming so fast, guys. I'm just trying to, if they be, yeah, and I agree. You're not gonna hear me saying little brother. You're not gonna say me hearing little brother because that's just Dodgers hubris. That's just Dodgers fake arrogance that you didn't earn, and that's just the reality in that situation. The Padres beat the Dodgers. They didn't just beat any Dodger team. They beat the 111 win Dodger team. So we know Dodger fans like to hang it over the Giants fans' heads. They beat them last year in the NLDS. So yeah, to me, you guys know no one loves the Dodgers more than me. I know there's millions of people that love the Dodgers as much as I do, but I just keep it real, man. I try to keep it 100, and I just try to remove my Dodger bias. If you want to watch a show where it's all Dodger homerism and they're gonna spin everything in the Dodgers' favor, then I'm not your guy because I like to tell you guys the truth. I like to give you guys the cold hard facts, and that's just the reality. But better pitching. We got need to bring a bleed blue manager. Bring back the Penguin. How about DeGrom for the Mets? Hey, I'd be interested in that. Fire trade Lux. Lux sucks. D-Mac, JT has got to go. Ryan, yeah, I think old man JT, you guys on the show last night were saying that he farts dust. He has that option. I think it's 16 million, I believe. So, D-Mac, what change is needed? I think the change really needs to happen. It's going to happen naturally, and I think you're going to see, will Clayton Kershaw come back? I mean, he's a guy that, we'll get into that in a second. I want to stay into this game a little more and kind of chew on what went wrong, and then I'll give you my thoughts on that because, of course, I have many. But top of the seventh inning, Mookie Betts draws a leadoff walk. The second strike was clearly high, and yes, the umpire, Trumpay, was bad, and he definitely deserves to be put in jail for his performance tonight. But if you're going to blame the umps on balls and strikes, which definitely Stevie Wonder could have done a better job than the chump pyres tonight. But if you want to blame them, the Dodgers scored 3 runs. The Dodgers averaged 3 runs a game versus this Padres team. So D-Mac, your man of your word, good for you. Hey, man, trust me, man. If I say something, I back it up. Trust me. But yeah, I mean, if you look at this Dodgers team, they end up going 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Once again, the clutch base hits were not there. It was better. It was better than it was, but the clutch base hits were not there. The fight, the will, the grinder mentality at the plate just didn't exist. So bring back pitchers hitting. Fire Roberts. That's from Lucky. Nobody on this team has that Kobe mentality. We need to get closers and right field pitchers. LMFAO here farts us. I'm dead. Get rid of Choke Shot and Trey Turner. Most epic choke ever by any sports. Yeah, the Dodgers are gonna have to wear this. I mean, I'm telling you. you guys, the 111 win Dodger team lost to the San Diego Padres in the first round. That's unacceptable. That's embarrassing. And when you when you see lists, if there's ever lists, who are the top 10 most disappointing teams in probably professional American sports history, you have to include the 2022 Dodgers, a team that wins 111 games and can't even force a game 5. Yes, they dealt with injuries, but guess what? The injuries that they dealt with, that was to their pitching. And yes, the pitching late, they didn't come through, but where were the injuries to the offense? What was the excuse for the offense? The Dodgers lost this series because they got absolutely owned by the San Diego Padres bullpen. They got owned for the most part by Suarez, by Hader. I mean, they just had no answer for this Padres pen. And yes, they got some runs across on Darvish, those 3 home runs. Tonight, you score a few on Joe Musgrove, but you had them on the ropes, and you didn't go for that knockout blow, and now you're going home. And now you have to live with the fact that you're the most underachieving Dodgers team in history. And look, when the stakes are that high, and this is not even really an opinion, I mean, it's just a fact at this point. I mean, when the stakes are that high, that's just the reality that you live with. And they put himself in that position, and I think that you're going to look back and say that, I mean, it felt like this team was sleepwalking for a month in the month of September. It really did. They were just resting there on their laurels. They're this team that's made history. So we got Vince Scully disappointed at the win for Vince. Look, Vince. I think that's tough to say. I mean, I wouldn't like to say that. I mean, look, they had win for Vin hashtag in 2016. They didn't win. So I mean, I wouldn't make too much of that. But bye Kershaw. Yeah, I mean, I think Kershaw hopefully comes back because as long as he's healthy, he's a guy that, at $17 million a year with escalators, I think he provides good value. But Freeman has to go. The rain was Vin and Tommy crying. That might be the comment of the night. There you go, Joe Cray. You want the comment of the night? It's yours.
Fire take.
Okay, it's hard to be a Dodgers fan at the moment. Yeah, I mean, they break your heart. They pretty much tear your heart out every single year. Vince Scully is rolling in his grave. We can't hit. We need guys who can hit 300. Fook the Goose, that's for Marmar. Blow it. Bring back Puig. Let Mark Pryor call the games. Kershaw needs to retire. Vince Scully is sick right now. This is by far worse than the 2017 World Series. Yeah, at least the 2017 World Series, you can look back and say, hey, the Astros cheated. The Trastros cheated. So you can say, hey, they cheated. If they didn't cheat, the Dodgers would have won, this and that. The Dodgers have no excuses. Thank you so much, Nintendo. $20. Thank you for your wonderful content all year. Appreciate you, and it will not stop. By the way, if you're a Lakers fan, we dive right into some Lakers content right away. So definitely be sure to follow me for that. So, and also hopefully some football too. We need to wake up and realize COVID champions from Brady Domina. Hey man, like I don't know what you want to say. I mean, I see. Are you guys not happy with the 2020 World Series? Do you want more? Does the 2020 World Series make tonight not as painful? I'm interested to hear because this is the end for 2022. Nailed it, Fraudman and Dunce Rodmer. Yeah, I mean, look, man. They get a lot of credit and they puff out their chest and they like to think of themselves as this model franchise. I've got news for you. The Dodgers are not the model franchise in Major League Baseball. They have not earned that name. They have not. Last year, Andrew Friedman got owned by Alex Anthopoulos of the Atlanta Braves. This year, Andrew Friedman got owned by A.J. Preller and the San Diego Padres. Okay, so like I said, Andrew Friedman, he's proven that he can build a regular season team, but in the postseason, it's a different story. He hasn't made the right moves to win, and he has all the resources. You have all the money you can spend. You have the farm system to trade for any possible trades you want to do to bolster your roster. And what happened to, we got another super chat from Sonny. D-Mac has given us the best entertainment all season. Let's show him some love. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. And honestly, it goes right back at you, man. I get as much from you guys as you guys get from me because you guys really help me through all the ups and downs. And look, bottom line, I just love talking Dodgers baseball. And you guys really make this show what it is. Like I always say, I'm the man of the fan, and this is your show that I'm just hosting it. But let's get right into this game because we're going to let's keep going into the game. But bring back Trey Turner. We got Effin Canley from Dante. Get some tough players. Pat Mattson wants to see Bruce Bochy. Yeah, who are some other managers you would want to see out there if you were the Dodgers? Let me know down below if you're a Dodger fan. But Dave Roberts is not the problem. Yeah, I think that's going to be overblown. I think Dave Roberts is going to take a lot of heat To me, I know for a fact that this doesn't fall squarely on Dave Roberts. Can Dave Roberts go out there and swing the bat for some of these players? It's a collaborative effort with Andrew Friedman, Dave Roberts, this entire organization. So if you want to pin it on Dave Roberts because he's the face of this team, and that's essentially what he does. He's the head of the spear, right? He gets paid to take these shots. Then so be it. But the reality is that all these decisions, all this approach, the roster construction, Dave Roberts is a part of the puzzle, but he isn't the entire puzzle. He is just one part of it. He's one cog. D-Mac, you're right, 99%. Of the time when it comes to Dodgers, but we need to win a real World Series. I don't like the 2020 season. A lot of people feel the same way. One question, fire Dave or not from $10. I would say I wouldn't fire Dave Roberts. I really think that, to me, you could if you want to save face. I mean, he just signed a new deal, so they're not going to fire Dave Roberts unless he completely went rogue on a strategy that they had, and I don't think they did. I think that this team, when you look at, they don't like to have guys face the top of the order the third time, or they like to give their relievers fresh innings in certain spots. And tonight they thought, hey, that's all we're going to get out of Tyler Anderson. He throws 86 pitches in 5 innings, ends up with the 6 punch outs and 2 walks. But I don't think, thanks, Iman, appreciate you. But I don't think that Dave Roberts is the guy that's going to fall on the sword. I think you're looking at this organization as a whole. And I think that the reality with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you exactly what it is they're idealists in certain cases. To me, I think I want to see the Dodgers be more realist than idealists. And what I mean by that is when a guy gets injured, like a Blake Trinan, they say, oh, we can get him right and have a PRP shot, and we don't need to make a move for a high leverage guy, and he's going to be fine. They bring back Blake Trinan, gives up the home run to Cronenworth in Game 2. And then what happens? Walker Buehler, we might get him back. We think he can come back and contribute. Ends up getting Tommy John surgery. Danny Duffy, all these injured players, even Tony Gonsolin. Tony Gonsolin was atrocious last night. And I hope it was that he just wasn't at his best 100% because he's another guy. Oh, Tony Gonsolin come back and contribute. I think the Dodgers need to take a good, long, hard look in the mirror and be more realistic about some of the statuses of some of these players that they want to bring back. And they also think that they overvalue some of their current players too. They think, oh, Justin Turner is going to come around and Max Muncy is going to come around. Cody Bellinger's a former MVP. He's going to come around. Chris Taylor, that contract's looking terrible. That 4-year, $60 million contract is looking terrible for Chris Taylor. Hey, like what I always say to guys, don't fall in love with players, fall in like with players. Because once you fall in love with players, you start to get delusional. What I always say is optimism becomes delusion, and you just cloud your mind about assessing these certain players. So I think that the Dodgers need to do a better job in trying to bring in guys that have sometimes you get postseason flukes. I mean, Rosario last year, he was a bust this year. How about Pierce back in 2018? But I think this team needs to do a better job in really evaluating their talent and how that talent translates into the postseason. Because, it's not getting it done. And it's clear the evidence is here because we saw it on display tonight. But top of the 7th inning, Trey Turner reaches on that bunt, and I was excited. The 7th inning, D-Mac for manager. Thanks, my friend over there, 499. Yeah, man, I'm going to put all this money towards an Aaron Judge offer. We'll see. We'll see who we can get. Xander Bogaerts, who knows? But fire Dave Roberts. Phillips should have came in earlier. Andrew, that was one of the first thoughts I have, but they wanted Chris Martin in that spot, and you trust Tommy Kahnle because Tommy Kahnle, he was filthy this entire postseason ever since he's been back, so you felt good about him in that spot. We got to Kyle Realistic Pros, fire Roberts, gut the farm system for Bobby Witt Jr. No, because the Dodgers want Bobby Miller, a guy that I'm telling you, I've spoken to scouts that I won't mention their names, and they think that he ends up in the bullpen. They say he has a clunky release, but no, the Dodgers, they build up their stars. Bobby Miller, he's the Dodger. He gets it. Look, they should have. The window for this team was so small. Mookie Betts is prime. Freddie Freeman's 32. Trey Turner is walking after this season most likely. Clayton Kershaw probably be gone. Tyler Anderson, Andrew Heaney, all these guys on shorter term deals. Justin Turner, Max Muncy. The Dodgers did not truly go all in. That's the absolute truth. That's why you heard Andrew Friedman whining about the fact that the cost of the cost of talent was so high, and he said that, oh, because the expanded postseason, you go to market, and it was higher than this and this and that. I mean, it felt like a weird time to do an interview, Andrew Friedman, and I'll go back and pull the interview. He was talking to Oral and Joe about it, about how it just sounded like to me like, oh, are you not confident about this roster? Is there a move that you thought you should have made that you didn't? But hey, like what I would say, scared money don't make none. CT3 was a buzz. Chris Taylor was the most disappointing. You lost Angeles. And I see all you guys unhappy about the 60 game World Series. But look, I think this team, like I said, even if 2020 was a full regular season, I still think this team has underachieved based on the talent and resources they have at their disposal. And look, the reality is next year, I don't want to hear this is how many wins. Okay, let's jump back into this game, and who's a player you want to see the Dodgers go after? Who's some managers? Mike Soja from Gerardo. They're called the Bums for a reason. 111. Bring Joe Madden. You want to see Judge. Except for Ethier, no wrong his whole career. Get Judge or Soto. Kirk Gibson as manager. Kane, thank you. Appreciate it for the super chat. I can't believe what we just witnessed. There's something systemic on this locker room. Just how no excuses for this trash. You good, D-Mac? I'm okay. I'm fine. I'll be okay tomorrow. We got red zone. We got a fantasy football game to win tomorrow. I'd honestly take Correa. I don't give a F. Dodgers need a singles and a bunts. Yeah, so 7th inning, you saw that, and I was excited to see it. I said, hey, bunt truthers rise, because after Mookie Betts draws that leadoff walk and he ends up at second after that wild pitch from Wilson, Trey Turner reaches on a bunt single to left, and then the ball was left out there in no man's land, and Betts, he had ideas of going home. He ends up staying at third. He plays it safe because Nola ends up kicking into foul territory, but it was a risk too. But I like the fact that with no outs, Betts stays there at third. And then Freddie Freeman, of course, he leads all of Major League Baseball with a 388 runners in scoring position, batting average this season. He's at the plate, breaking ball inside, and Freddie Freeman, it hits Freddie Freeman to load the bases for the Dodgers with no outs. And then Will Smith, first pitch, hits a sac fly to score. Betts to make it 3-0 Dodgers for the first out. And then in comes Hill to pitch to Muncy, and the Dodgers pull off a double steal. So they caught Hill sleeping. And what I've been saying this entire time, you have to be more aggressive against this Padres team. One of the worst teams in Major League Baseball this season at holding runners. I think it's inexcusable that Trey Turner wasn't able to at least make an attempt to steal second earlier last game, but hey, that's just one of a million problems they had this series. And then after that, that scores Betts to make it 3-0 Dodgers. So 3-0 Dodgers at that point, first out of the inning. And then runners on second and third. Max Muncy strikes out swinging on a sinker down and in for the second out. That brings up Justin Turner with runners on second and third and 2 outs, and he grounds to short to end the inning. So we've seen the Dodgers have issues missing pitches, missing hittable pitches that we've seen them drive. Max Muncy, a perfect example right there. Sinker down and in. He just can't catch up to it, and that goes for the second out. Justin Turner, he just looks like he's pretty. At this point, I don't have a lot of confidence with Justin Turner at the plate. I mean, he just looked overmatched at the plate for the vast majority of this series, and the Dodgers, they cashed it on that leadoff walk by Betts, but they had them on the ropes. The Dodgers had the Padres on the ropes there in the 6th inning, in the top of the 7th inning, and they just weren't able to cash in. I mean, that was it. I mean, that was the big inning that the Dodgers you had the bases loaded. You had the bases loaded there, and you were only able to get one run. One run. That's not the pitcher's problem. That's not Dave Roberts' problem. That is the core of this team. And yeah, you almost in that situation would like to have seen Freddie Freeman not get hit, because he was one of the only guys that was consistently producing this series. But so Dodgers, they're going to be getting one run. They don't go for the death blow. And then the bottom of the 7th is where the problem started happening. But here we go. Once again, paper champions for the Dodgers. Yeah. And look, man, I'm not going to be one of those guys just like City of Bubble champions, and I see a lot of you guys are not happy with the 60-game World Series, and you want more, and you deserve more, really. I mean, geez, the investment that the Dodger fans make, it's not like other fan bases. You guys watch every game, you pay attention, you go to the games, this and that, and then what do the Dodgers give you? They win 111 games in the regular season, set a franchise record, and then they absolutely shit the bed in the NLDS. So, yeah, I mean, that's just the reality. Just venting this whole stupid analytics baseball. Not saying Roberts is to blame completely. Yeah, got to give Padres credit. Yeah, Connor Williams, give the Padres all the credit in the world. They were outstanding. Their bullpen was lights out. The Dodgers scored they scored against Wilson and they were able to score that one run, but the Dodgers for the most part, I mean, they just absolutely owned and dominated against this team. So yeah, I mean, you saw heading into today, Dodgers were 5-44, 5 for 44, hitting 114 with no runs in 13 innings against San Diego's pen. And heading into today, 3 for 25 with runners in scoring position. And tonight, they end up going 2 for 9. So the Dodgers end up going 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position, right? So we're talking. So the Dodgers go 2 for 9 with runs scored. I mean, that's just unacceptable. That's just unacceptable. And that's, yeah, of course, give the Padres credit because they're dealing out there. But if you watch this team all year, they're making pitches that the Dodgers we've seen have success with. So to this series, the Dodgers, they hit 128 with runners in scoring position. 128 after leading the league by hitting 272 with runners in scoring position in the regular season. What were they? What happened to that team in the regular season? Because they certainly weren't on the field during this series. But the regular season studs, postseason duds. Yeah, what I say, man, I said the Dodgers were going to be the chumps or the champs, and right now they're looking like the chumps. D-Mac, they were not prepared and slacked off. It falls on Roberts for not keeping them ready. I think that's one of the fairest and best points when it comes to evaluating Dave Roberts, if you want to say that he was partly to blame, and definitely he deserves blame for their NLDS loss. But I think that's a great point because, yeah, I mean, that's on him, and that is really his biggest role, is to try to maintain a culture. And the culture is, hey, yes, the Dodgers, they finished 23 games ahead of the Padres in the NLDS. They had home field advantage throughout the postseason, but still, you have to drive it into them every single day. And we saw the offense fall apart towards the end of the season. We saw a lot of sloppy baseball, a lot of defensive miscues. And I thought, yeah, defensively tonight, much better. I think the diving catch by Trace Thompson, the diving attempt that were on the Grisham hit where he kept the ball in front of him, the Gavin Lux play early on. Yeah, the defense was a little more crisp tonight, but that was a theme down the stretch. And bad defense usually means lack of focus. But Chase Utley for manager, Brian, yeah, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Do you want to see Chase Utley as the Dodgers manager? Do you want to say Andre Ethier? Bullpen did just fine, to be honest. The bullpen was outstanding. The bullpen was great, but the reality is with a bullpen, they were expected to go deeper into games, and they should have. They couldn't get any length from Tony Gonsolin yesterday. It's a miracle that Tony Gonsolin gave up like 4 or 5 runs, but tonight, they had an opportunity to take a little stress off this Dodgers pen, and they didn't do it. You could have sent Tyler Anderson, a guy we've seen go deep into games. We've seen him pitch into the 9th this season when he was flirting with a no-hitter. We've seen him go deep into games, and he's able to handle it. He almost has a rubber arm. And then yesterday, Tony Gonsolin goes an inning and a third. Okay? So they didn't go, and none of the Dodgers starters in this series, after the long layoff, after having a long time down the stretch to rest their arms, not one starter went past 5 innings. Not one. That's inexcusable because even if you advance in this round, you still have to play a 7-game NLCS and hopefully a 7-game World Series, and that strategy is not going to win. The bullpen, they're in the bullpen for a reason. They're your reliever for a reason because you're a bullpen piece, and that means that sometimes your success, you're not going to have it on certain nights, and tonight we saw that here in the bottom of the 7th because Tommy Kahnle comes in and he walks Profar, and then he gives up the single to Grisham, and like I said, Trace Thompson did a really, really nice job there keeping that in front of him because if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't do that, that could be a triple, and Profar would have probably scored there, but that gives the Padres runners on the corners with no outs, and on the 0-2 pitch, Nola reaches on an infield single, and then Freddie, he makes a diving stop at it. It ends up with Lux, but that scores Profar, and it gives the Padres their first run of the night to make it 3-1 Dodgers. So, yeah, Tommy Kahnle did not have it. So, his night was done. And Tommy Cakes, the Tominator, don't worry, we won't call him that again. he ends up, and look, he pitched yesterday too. Alex Vesia, he pitched yesterday too. Yancy Almonte, he pitched yesterday too. And I think that this bullpen was starting to feel the effects of the usage. But yeah, I mean, it is a winner take all hands on deck mentality. But still, I mean, tonight Tommy Cakes, he wasn't even able to get an out. All those runs were charged to him. He allowed those 2 hits. He allowed the walk. I mean, Tommy Kahnle did not have it, and that was a move by Andrew Friedman in 2020. Said, hey, I'm going to sign Tommy Kahnle, and Tommy Kahnle, it looked really good, but he did not have it tonight. So Yancy Almonte, he comes in on the 2-1 pitch. Kim doubles to left, scoring Grisham to make it 3-2 Dodgers, and the Dodgers were playing in on that play because they thought Kim was going to bunt. So a very savvy move by there for Kim. Dodgers was they were on the grass. Muncy was playing on the grass, and Kim hits it past him. And then the next batter, Juan Soto, Yancy falls behind 2-0, and then on the 2-0, Juan Soto hits a line drive into right field to score Nola and give the Padres and to tie it up at 3. So look at that pitch. Juan Soto, the guy the Dodgers didn't want to give Bobby Miller or Diego Cartaya or any of these guys for. Juan Soto, future Dodger. Juan Soto was the guy that essentially had a big part in ending the Dodgers season. The guy the Dodgers didn't want to give up top prospects for. I'm sure that the prospects that they wanted for Juan Soto are guys that are going to have better careers than Juan Soto, right? No, they're not. But that gave the Padres, that tied things up at 3, and still nobody out, runners on the corners, and thankfully Mookie hit the cutoff man there, which that way they kept that there to a minimum, but with runners on the corners and 1 out, Yancy Almonte, he strikes Machado out with a filthy slider, bottom of the zone for the first out. So beautiful pitch there by Yancy Almonte. Dodger Stadium South, what a joke. Remember, you can't call it Dodger Stadium South, guys. You have to retire it, unless you just want to force it and you just sound silly, because they're no longer little brothers. At some point, little brother, what happens? He gets older, he gets bigger, and then he's the same size as big brother, and he gets a win, and that's what the Dodgers did. So this is the night we retire big brother Padres thing. Remember David Ortiz said that the Dodgers were their daddy? No, they were not. The Padres earned the right to be on the same level as the Dodgers. And what if the Padres go on to win the World Series? I mean, who knows? But you can't call him little brother, at least not for me. And trust me, I used to love doing that, but you won't catch me doing that. We got trade belly. We lost Bueller, May, and trying to injury. D-Mac, that could have taken down any team. But they knew, so Dustin May, we didn't even see Dustin May in this series. Walker Buehler, that's why you make him, look, that's why I said this team wasn't all in. This team wasn't truly all in from a standpoint as, look, they knew Buehler's status. They knew Buehler's status. Come on now. This team, so what's your excuse? What's your excuse for the offense that averaged 3 runs per game? Who was injured on the offense? Muncy was injured last year. He was back. Justin Turner was injured last year. He was back. Chris Taylor's back. Gavin Lux was back. Mookie, Trey, Freddie, Will Smith, Cody Bellinger. The whole offense was there. What's the excuse there? Because the Dodgers didn't lose this series because of their relievers. They didn't lose this series because of their starters. They lost because they could only score 3 runs per game. That's how many runs the Dodgers average per game this series. Yes, of course, everyone plays a role in it, but still. Rebuild the Padres. Your Padre, ouch. The Dodgers are banned from the playoffs forever. Should I put enhancer in the 7th? That's from Boomer Assassin. This season was a waste. The problem was they didn't put more than 7 runs on the board. Yeah, and look, the reality is this Dodger team, they were sitting around 500 in close games this series. In this season, they were hovering right under 500. They were bad their Dodgers were bad in 1-run games. They're bad in extra innings games. And I think that is something that reflects the manager. It reflects the strategy that this team has. But to fire the batting coach, trade for Ohtani, hey, I'm for that. We got cocky and got humbled. Yeah, hockey season now from Diane Schroeder. What up, Diane? Umpires, horrible. Play callers, yeah, that was bad. 35 years in counting from Justin Lamas. I get it. That's 88. Garbage. Roberts needs to take out the starter always earlier. Yeah, I mean, that's what he does. Little brother just wedgied us. Jay Cortez. Trade everything. And I hope this lights a fire. And guess what? It is a rivalry. Dodgers. What everyone said was, the Dodgers and the Padres isn't a rivalry because the Padres have never taken something from the Dodgers. Well, guess what? They have. they ruined their 111-win dream season. So, yeah, it is officially a rivalry. I'm sorry to tell you that, but it is. Oh, my God, F the Trastros. Oh, yeah, so then Yancey threw one pitch. He throws one pitch to Cronenworth. And, of course, you got to go with the matchup. So let's see what we do here. And Doc comes in. Vesia was done so dirty. They owe an apology to Alex Vesia. One, he didn't get enough time to warm up. He was hurried. And you don't even get him a clean count. He comes in. It's already a 1-0 count. And Vesia gets the first pitch strike. And then on the 2-2, Cronenworth singles to center to score Kim and Soto to give them a 5-3 lead. And the Dodgers would not score. So that put the Padres up for good, a 5-3 lead for San Diego. And then Vesia, I think in that at bat, I think the sequencing was an issue too. I would have stuck with the hard stuff. He goes with that slider there against his first hitter, didn't have the feel for it, kind of left it out over the plate. And yeah, I mean, also, look, that should have been strike three. The reality is that should have been strike three. John Francis Trumpain, look, we should sign a petition. This guy has no business being an MLB umpire. He's pretty much it was like watching Sandra Bullock in Bird Box behind the plate. He was practically blindfolded because he was given that strike all game long to the San Diego Padres. But in this situation, John Francis Trumpain, that was just an abomination. It was an embarrassment in that situation because, to me, yes, if you're going to have a wide strike zone, at least be consistent with it. And I don't like the fact that he thought it was the umpire show. I hate the umpire show. There's nothing worse than the umpire show. No one paid money to watch you umpire a game. No one paid money to go watch you emphatically and dramatically make a strike three tomahawk chop, a strike three call to get the whole crowd just wild and out, to get the crowd up and roaring. No one came to see that, and I think that, yeah, that definitely was a bad call. He gets out of that inning. Who knows? Maybe the Dodgers win tonight, but definitely was a factor. But still, I mean, Vesia, series don't come down to look. I mean, you still got to execute your pitches though. So Vesia, he throws, and then terrible calls, and finally the Dodgers were able to get out of that nightmare inning. And really that's the night. So yeah, I mean, that's the inning that you're going to lose sleep over for the entire offseason is that nightmare bottom of the seventh inning with Canely, Almonte, and Vesia combined, 5 runs on 5 hits there. And yeah, after that, he ends up walking Myers. And with the runner, he ends up walking Myers, and then with runners on first and second, he comes back to strike out Profar with an elevated fastball. And that's the pitch I would have liked to see against Cronenworth. Instead, if you look where that slider was, it was a little outside that kind of came in, but still, I mean, just didn't have the great depth to it. So yeah, he ends up that's the big hit that puts him on top, and then. Yeah, top of the 8th inning, nothing really happening. I mean, the Dodgers, the best thing too, where's the fight with this team? They rolled over. They folded faster than Superman and the Dodgers, after they lost the lead, that's the thing I had issue with too. They folded faster than Superman on Laundry Day. I mean, top of the 8th inning, Thompson popped to second, Bellinger flied to center, Luck struck out swinging. Bottom of the 8th, Evan Phillips, who you should have used earlier. If you're going to go all hands on deck, why not use the strategy that worked in Game 1 with Julio Urias? You bring in Evan Phillips as the first guy out there, but no, you don't do that because that stretch, Evan Phillips, he was filthy. He strikes out Grisham, he strikes out Nola, and he gets Kim looking. So he strikes out the side there in the bottom of the 8th. Wouldn't that have been nice in the 7th inning? Wouldn't have been nice earlier in the game? But he goes with Chris Martin, he goes with Canely, and then top of the 9th inning, Betts struck out swinging on 3 pitches. You strike out on 3 pitches. $365 million contract, all-star. You want to be in the Hall of Fame. You can't even make it to the Mendoza line in the NLDS. I mean, come on, man. Like I said, I'm just trying to keep it real, man. I'm trying to just keep it 100 here, and that was just a bad at bat. And then Trey Turner, he strikes out swinging. He swings and misses on a slider away, and then that brings up Freddie Freeman, who ends up. One second, guys. That brings up Freddie Freeman, and he ends up going down swinging on 3 pitches too. So just that to me is emblematic of the entire series. Is the big three didn't do enough. Freddie Freeman came through. Trey Turner had his moments, but they just didn't do enough. And Mookie Betts, he definitely didn't do enough. So Mookie Betts strikes out swinging on 3 pitches. Trey Turner, he strikes out swinging. Then Freddie Freeman, he struck out swinging on 3 pitches. Maybe they had dinner reservations in San Diego and they wanted to go check it out. I have no idea. But didn't show a lot of fight against Hader there in that last inning. And then the thing is, too, the Dodgers had so many opportunities this season, in this game, to just put up more runs than they did. The first inning, Freddie Freeman, 2-out double, Will Smith flies out. Second inning, Justin Turner, 1-out single to second. Trace Thompson, first pitch foul out. Chris Taylor, he takes strike 3 on a breaking ball. Chris Taylor was a disaster at the plate this series. Then the third inning, after Freddie Freeman's 2 RBI double, Dodgers had Freddie at second with 1 out. Will Smith grounds to second. Then Muncy drew a walk. The Dodgers had runners on the corners with 2 outs and JT at the plate, and he flies to right. So, yeah, the Dodgers, they had multiple opportunities. They go 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They go 5 for 39 in the series. They average 3 runs per game. So, yeah, the offense, they didn't show up. If you've seen the Dodgers offense, by the way, please return them to, they've gone missing. Please return them to Dodger Stadium. But they lost the lead. Tyler was awesome from Harry Rocco. Yeah, I thought Tyler Anderson was fantastic. He was making big pitches all night. He was, I thought bottom of the first inning, got him some deep counts. With Manny Machado. So first inning, he got Kim to pop out, 0-2 to Soto. Anderson got him to swing and miss for strike 3, cutter down and in. And then the 2-2 to Machado on the 7th pitch. Machado ripped that 2-out single. A cutter that they wanted down, he left a little up. And then 0-1 to Drury. He flies to center for the 3rd out. So some deep counts, but he was just making pitches. That's what he does. He goes out there and he grinds, and that's what he's great at. So, yeah, bottom of the 3rd, 1-2-3 inning for Ty Dog. He struck out Kim on that 4-seam fastball. Soto ground to second, some hard hit contact, but a great play by Lux. Machado fouled to right. Bottom of the 4th inning, 1-2-3 on 5 pitches, and he's dealing. That 4-seam fastball was working for him tonight. That bat against Cronenworth, he falls behind the count 2-0. Then he frees him with that perfectly dotted 4-seam fastball for the 2nd out. He had soft contact as well, and he's a guy that he knows how to work his way around traffic. And then bottom of the 5th inning, he gets Profar to foul to first for the 1st out. And then he fell behind to Grisham, and then he battled back to load the count to 3-2. And on that pitch, he gets him swinging at a cutter away for the 2nd out. So a beautiful pitch to get Trent Grisham right there. The cutter was on to not his best, but still was using it in big spots and getting big outs and big swings and misses with it. And then he gets ahead of Nola 0-2. Then he loses him and he walks him for the then he loses him walking for that 2-out base hit. And then next batter, he ends up getting Kim to ground to the pitcher. So, yeah, I think that one, he ends up walking Nola. And on that pitch, he was ahead in the count and just lost him. Then he comes back, he gets Kim to ground out. So there's no reason why it's 89 pitches for Tyler Anderson. But this is a guy that he's a gamer. He's got that dog that we talk about, right? He's a guy that is equipped to go out there. And I think the Dodgers, they need to revisit their entire strategy. These guys, they've been telling themselves they're these baseball geniuses, and they're great in the regular season, but it sure as hell isn't working in the postseason. So, yeah, this team definitely is going to have some soul searching to do. There's no question about it. And, yeah, Tyler Anderson, he's a guy that we've seen him go deep into games. We've seen him get that pitch count up. He throws 99 pitches against the Marlins. Against the Angels. Against the Angels, when he goes 8 1/3 innings, when he was flirting for that no-hitter, Tyler Anderson threw 123 pitches. 123 pitches. Okay, he's a guy that can go another inning. So, and you say to yourself, well, Chris Martin, he still got the job done the 6th. But yeah, you put your whole you set your whole bullpen back, and I think it's a situation too where You wanted to use Evan Phillips. Well, dismantle this team, reassemble it to hot and hit and run. Dodgers need to hire me. Too many players left on base. That's from Gilbert Ruiz. Absolutely, Gilbert. I'm so sad. That's from Josh V. This is going to be a tough one, man. This is going to be a tough loss that you're really never going to forget. I mean, because when's the next time the Dodgers are going to win 111 games? When's the next time they're going to face the Padres in the postseason? This is going to sting. Absolutely going to sting. And hey, man, maybe David Ortiz jinxed the Dodgers. Maybe the Goose jinxed the Dodgers. Maybe the Goose is the Dodgers' new Billy Goat. I have no idea, but the reality is this organization, they didn't get it done like they should. And I definitely think if I had to slice up the blame pie, shout out to the Kamenetsky brothers because they invented the blame pie. If I had to slice up the blame pie, I would give the biggest slice to Andrew Friedman and this organization because this roster construction, this is his vision. This is his vision. There's a reason why he gets paid 3 times what Dave Roberts gets paid. So if you want to say fire Dave Roberts, it should be fire Roberts and Friedman because I'm just looking at you right in the eye that is the guy that is the brains behind this operation. He absolutely is. So I'm not saying to fire Andrew Friedman, but I think that he needs to revisit his strategy. I think that he absolutely needs to change the way he evaluates and assesses talent. And I also think that if you think you're a World Series team and you can get better on the margin, look, Joey Gallo. We didn't see Joey Gallo. We didn't see Joey Gallo against a lefty. Against a righty, right? We didn't see Joey Gallo. Cody Bellinger, a guy that was their second best player last season in the postseason. He gets a pinch hit late in this one, doesn't get an opportunity. So, yeah, this team was another terrible mismanagement disaster class from top to bottom. But the TA was dealing. Love Anderson. Yeah, I love Tyler Anderson, man. Hat goes off to TA. Nothing more you can say about him. If you watch the pregame show, if you watch the preview show, he was supposed to be I had Tyler Anderson as my Game 3 starter, and I think you should have started him yesterday because Tony Gonsolin in the postseason, no. Tony Gonsolin, the cat man needs more dog. Okay, he's terrible in the postseason. He goes 1 1/3 inning, and it should have been worse. So you can't trust Tony Gonsolin in the postseason. They really need to. Can you imagine having him in the postseason in the future? I would never want to see him out there. I think that maybe in the future, if he can stay healthy for a whole season, you give him an opportunity. But the reality is, Tyler Anderson, if he goes in Game 3, maybe the Dodgers put up more runs early in that one against Blake Snell because they're in a better position with their starting pitchers. So, yeah, fired Roberts, sold as always, man. Who else's heart is broken? That's from John. Hey, man, it's good, man. It means you Buxton, we got D-Mac, is analytics killing this Dodger team. I don't think it's killing this Dodger team. I think you need to have a balance, and this is a analytically driven team. There's no question about it, but you need to have that balance when you're talking about when you talk about the fact that this team is a team that's built on, you want to play the numbers, but there's also times when you want to be able to try to really give yourself a better position to make some decisions from the gut, make some decisions that are going to really help better assess these players. So I don't think it's killing this team. It's helping this team, but I think that I think it's more about roster construction and just always playing the numbers and how you manage your pitch. I think that the pitching staff is absolutely overmanaged. There's no question about that. So, yeah. But 1 second here, guys. Fix this. Yeah, boycott Fraudman out now, please. We got Fraudman out now, please. Oh, there you go. 1 second here, guys. There you go. Back into the comment section here. Ironic, the last time the Padres won the NLDS, it was all credit to Dave Roberts. D-Mac for Dodgers manager. Bring back Jock Peterson. Where was Vargas, Jose Silva? Yeah, you have some of these guys on the roster. Mookie can go bowling. Enough for the Boris clients. Anderson was prepared. Front office and manager needs to go. We got fire the batting coaches from William. Batting coaches suck. Catman. I think D-Mac needs a picture of Ornitos. Yeah, definitely need something after this. Put that way. Hello, D-Mac. What's up, Jenny Vega? It is D-Mac. Justin Turner needs to go. We got Trey. had a sweet bunt. San Diego greater than score LA. Please get Dave out. That's from Nate the Great. Houston Cheetos will lose. Fire Freeman and Roberts. And how did the Dodgers win? How did the Dodgers win? Create a global pandemic. Ouch. LFG Goose. Dave Roberts is gone. Analytics are great in 162, but the playoffs are different. DeGrom is old. Pray for firing Roberts. I think Jansen will be back. Do I think? I don't think so. I doubt it. I think the Dodgers, I doubt you'll see them go back to guys in the past. I think you'll see them kind of switch it up. But somewhere Seager is smiling. I don't think so. I mean, I think he's smiling, but not because the Dodgers lost. I think he's smiling because because he has $325 million in his bank account. D-Mac for GM Gary A. Hey, man, I'll take a crack at it. I'll trade all the prospects, spend all the money. I just want, hey, man, to me, you win one championship, then you worry about the next one. And because no one remembers the NLCS titles. No one remembers the division titles, the regular season titles. All you guys remember is the World Series titles, and that is what this city is all about. That's what baseball is all about. What I always say, second place is just the first loser, right? So you play to win it all. You play to win the whole damn thing. But thanks, LJ. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. And we'll probably be doing the show live even without the games. Maybe we'll do some live shows after some of these postseason games just so we can keep dissecting this whole thing. But not a 60-game season anymore. Dodgers were a choke city. I wouldn't say that, but Correa, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a choke. I mean, I think it's tough to say it's a choke because it's not like the Dodgers were ever ahead in this series. It's not like the Dodgers were ever – I mean, the Dodgers got outplayed. The Dodgers got beat by a team that clearly wanted it. They wanted it more. They did. They did play with more fire, more passion. I mean, I think this Dodgers team, they just did not rise to the occasion, bottom line. And I think this, like I said, this is the most disappointing Dodgers postseason loss that I can ever think of. I've studied them all. I've watched a good amount of them that that have occurred past 2000 or 96 or whatever it is. I mean, so it's like this definitely is not only one of the most disappointing Dodgers losses. This is one of the most disappointing losses in MLB history because this team is always going to be attached to the 111 wins of all the teams that have won 100 games, 111. Those teams lost in the World Series. Those teams either won, lost the World Series, maybe the ALCS with the 2001 Mariners. The Dodgers couldn't even get to the NLCS. It's just an absolute embarrassment for this franchise to finish this short, especially to the Padres. But you won 111 games and had the best offense all year. I'd say it is a choke, man. Nate, I have no issue. If you want to call it a choke, you can call it a choke. It's not something that would bother me. I mean, I think the choke though really. I mean, look, I think the choke, to say it's a choke, is almost discredits the Padres and the talent level because the Padres, yeah, they're an 89-win team, but if you had Juan Soto, if you had this roster with Drury, with Bell, with Hader all season long, you would probably expect them to win more than 89 games and maybe hopefully win close to 100 games. But I will say something that's pretty wild. The Padres are in a situation where they could be the first team to beat 300 win teams in a regular season if they face the Astros in the World Series, which is definitely nightmare fuel. But I think I think the choke would be how would you I think the choke would be that really just saying that, yeah, I mean, like, I just don't think they had like a big lead, but yeah, I think it's more disappointing that it is a choke. I think it's more underachieving than it is a choke, but yeah, I mean, I think that regardless, tip your cap. Congratulations to the Padres. Congratulations to the San Diego Padres. I know it's a big day for their city, big day for their franchise. They wanted to slay the Dodgers dragon, and they did it. And you got to give them credit for doing it. And I give a lot of credit to AJ Preller, and I give a lot of credit to this organization for not being afraid of the Dodgers, not being afraid to make these big moves, and it paid off because they're in a good position playing a Phillies team, and I think there's a really good chance you're going to see the Padres in the World Series, and that's exactly what the goal was for A.J. Preller and this Padres organization. So, yeah, you got to give them credit, man. Dodgers lack scrappiness. Mickey Mouse should be the Dodgers mascot. Okay, now stop. We got... Doug, is this team worth defending? That's from Rod Wilson. I think there's look. I mean, I think it. Look, this is the thing. Like, for me, I just look at this team as a whole, and I don't. I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm not one of those guys who puts like posters on my walls of the players and this and that. I just kind of look at this team as, yeah, you kind of root to want to see them have success. I think that this team ran into a Padres team that was hungry, that had a lot of momentum, that also had a lot of top end talent. And I think the Dodgers, they kind of got punched in the mouth early in this series against their bullpen, and they just couldn't respond. I just didn't like the at-bat quality. I thought there were too many quick at-bats, a lot of lazy outs, a lot of first-pitch swing that end up as lazy flyouts or foul territory. You saw them striking out in key situations. I mean, we saw that all series long. I think the defense, you talk about Trey Turner really costing the Profar the error that really would lead to Profar getting the single off Brusdar Gratterall there in Game 2 that put them ahead. You saw him calling off Chris Taylor. I think defensively, they just didn't get the job done. So, yeah, are they worth defending? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know exactly what you mean by that. I think that you can always be proud of your team, man. I mean, I used to defend the Dodgers when they were a bad team that didn't make the postseason. I would still defend my team. So, yeah, man, they're your team. Go ahead and defend your team, man. I mean, look, the thing is, these guys are all professional athletes. These guys all want to win badly. They have money on it. You think you want to win because you love the team? Sure you do. These guys have financial incentive to want to win games. Trust me, this Dodger team, they wanted to win. It's just, for me, it's more how this team was, and we'll probably do some deeper dives on a lot of these topics. I don't want to completely talk about it now, but I just don't think that they fully respected this Padres team, and I think heading into it, they thought that this was going to be easier than they thought it was going to be. And look at Julio, Kershaw, they a lot of high stress innings, weren't able to go deep into those games. So, yeah, and then also just the management and just the fact that the bottom of the order wasn't producing. I mean, they didn't get enough from their outfielders, not enough production. Their best player, Mookie Betts, hit 143 for this series. So, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of things that could go wrong, did go wrong. Shout out to Murphy's Law, and it happened. But I don't think the Dodgers can make any excuses, because the reality is they played 3 games. They played 3 wild card games, and their bullpen had already been used. And the Dodgers had a big advantage when you look at the pitching and the fact that they did get to face Mike Clevenger in Game 1. They did get to face Yu Darvish after having made a start. So, yeah, Padres own the Dodgers. Bring back the Dodgers. Panda, too long of a season. The Soto dance to steal second ripped my heart out. Yeah, I mean, even that play too, just stealing that in that situation. I mean, it's the little things. Belly is gone. I think Belly is definitely gone. Bring back Mattingly. I don't know about that. Every year we get worse and embarrassed. Yeah, I would I'm very. I rarely. It would take a lot. It would take a lot for me to use the word embarrassed or to say the word choke, because the reality is these guys are all statistical miracles. These guys are all the best at what they do at their profession. The fact that you are a Major League Baseball player, but I think that there's unique circumstances in this series because it is the San Diego Padres. It is your division rival. It is the team that has been designed to try to beat you. And yeah, the Dodgers beat them in 2020. Look, they didn't have Tatis. I mean, they didn't have Tatis Jr. I mean, of course, we know Kim is better at shortstop, but I mean, if you had to throw Tatis in one of those outfield spots and you're getting all-star Tatis, then what does this series look like? What does this team look like? I mean, how the Padres have got to look for the next few years? I think the Dodgers need to kind of get back to work and say, hey, how do we make sure that we're still winning this division? So, yeah, I think it was embarrassing just because of how flat they looked, how listless they look out there, that they didn't put up a fight in certain at-bats. I mean, the numbers just tell you everything you need to know. I mean, the fact you go 5 for 39 with runners in scoring position, it's just true. Is it now a rivalry? In my opinion, I would say absolutely the Dodgers is a rivalry, because what I've said for years is it's one of those rivalries like the Lakers versus the Kings in the early 2000s, the Lakers versus the Suns, rivalries like that, where, yeah, maybe if they're not good anymore, will you care as much about the games? Whereas the Giants versus the Dodgers, they could be last place teams and you would still care. But I think when you look at the rosters of the Padres and the Dodgers right now, it's a rivalry, in my opinion, because they have taken something that the Dodgers wanted, and they basically Dodgers weren't able to get to a 5th game. I mean, yeah, to me, for sure. We got Correa is the answer. After seeing this, I know some of you guys are cold on Correa. Would you be more interested in a Carlos Correa after this? Suspended for 80 games. And look, that's the thing is, too, the more games they play, the less his suspension will be. So, number one, they aren't rivals. Number two, Padres didn't have Tatis. Rod Wilson, they're rivals, like in the sense that. So you're telling me you tell me a Dodgers Padres game is the same tension level, it means the same as the Dodgers versus the Marlins? You really trying to tell me that? No, of course not. It is definitely a rivalry. The fans care more when those two teams play. The fans care more when the Dodgers lose to the Padres. So yes, it is. By definition, they're already division rivals. It's just the only question now is, do you consider them a legitimate rival? And to me, I think the answer is yes. I think next season, these games are going to be more significant, especially if the Padres somehow go on to win the World Series. Absolutely, it's a rivalry. Absolutely, it's a rivalry in every sense of the word. It's never going to be the Giants-Dodgers rivalry. It's never going to be a rivalry like that where it's just timeless. I wouldn't say it's a timeless rivalry. I would say, look, I mean, when the Lakers were playing the Kings in the early 2000s, were you saying, oh, the only rivalry the Lakers have is the Celtics? No. The Lakers and the Kings was the best game on TV. When the Suns and Mike D'Antoni and Nash and all of them were clashing with the Lakers, would you say, oh, it's about the Lakers and the Celtics? No, it's about the Lakers and Kings. So it's one of those fling rivalries. So bring back Donnie Baseball. No on Correa. Yo, D-Mac, you think we can land Judge? And would you like him on this team? Young Correa. I dropped a few videos on that. I'm actually going to drop one on an interview I did with Alana Rizzo about Aaron Judge. And I think, yeah, Aaron Judge is a guy that, if you look at the formula for winning in modern-day Major League Baseball, you want to hit home runs, and slugging usually wins. He is not as young as you think, 30 years old. You're basically going to be paying for 5 years of his decline, but yeah, why not? Give me Aaron Judge is another guy, though. I mean, if you want the fire and demeanor, I think you'll get some prime years out of Aaron Judge if you can bring him in there and pair him and bring another right-handed slugger in this at-bat. But by everyone I've talked to, they're telling me he's not leaving New York. I'll be quite frank with you. I think it's going to be fun to talk about, hopefully. And you can never rule out the Dodgers. You can't. I mean, there's always a chance. The Dodgers always have a chance with anyone. And maybe if you have a bidding war between the Mets and the Yankees, or he just wants to go to the West Coast, and don't forget about the San Francisco Giants. Yeah, it's a possibility, but I think that all signs are pointing to him staying with the Yankees. But at the same token, we said the same thing about Freddie Freeman and the Atlanta Braves. So you can never rule out anything. Judge choking in the playoffs. We got Bring Joe Madden. Dave Roberts lost that game. Terrible game. Pitching management. Yeah, I think the thing for Doc that really screwed him over was Tommy Kahnle not having it. Tommy Kahnle was a disaster tonight, and it's unfortunate because it came at the worst time, and there was just nothing that you saw from his previous appearances that you would think that. But here's the thing about Tommy Kahnle, though, is you use Tommy Kahnle on that back-to-back. You use Tommy Kahnle on that back-to-back, and tonight he wasn't good. I mean, tonight he ends up giving up 3 earned runs on three earned runs. So, yeah, I mean, those runs were charged to him, and he allowed the walk. So, yeah, he didn't even get an out. I mean, he didn't even get an out. So, yeah, Tommy Kahnle, he did not have it tonight. But, yep, guys, I mean, we'll do shows in the offseason, a bunch of free agent stuff here. But, yep, guys, we broke it all down. I mean, it's a tough loss. Your Dodgers, a disappointing end to a historic season in the regular season. But guess what? What time's that regular season 111-win parade? Oh, that's right. There is no parade for a 111-win season. Oh, what time's that ring ceremony? Oh, yeah, that's right. There's no ring ceremony for a 111-win season. So you got to get back to work. You got to find a way to put yourself in a position to have more success in the postseason. I think that's the number one question for the Dodgers this offseason is when you look at roster construction, when you consider pitching, when you consider how you want to manage the bullpen and the starters, what is the best roster that you can assemble to have success in the postseason? Because you look at this Phillies team. I mean, they got guys that rake. The Phillies basically are what the Dodgers were supposed to be. A team that goes out there and has an explosive offense and scores runs. But nope, the Dodgers, they didn't do it, and it's going to be a long, cold offseason for your Los Angeles Dodgers. But, guys, I want to thank you for rocking with me all season long, all the way back in spring training. We had shows all season long. Thanks to our sponsors, Jim Beam. Thanks to everyone out there that rock with us all season long. And we're going to be back, and also, yeah, I mean, the content and the coverage is still going to be as it's going to go even crazier, because we have a lot to talk about in this offseason. You got the Trey Turner, what's going to happen with him, who will the Dodgers go after. I think that you're going to see wholesale changes with the Dodgers. There's no way you can lose like this in this fashion and not make significant changes. So it's going to be a wild offseason like it always is. And, yeah, we'll be back for sure. But thanks, guys, as always, for rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Get some comments here. D-Mac, are we ever going to see this? There's a ring ceremony for Dodgers Day. Oh, thank you, Diane Schroeder. As always, appreciate it. Should have gotten Harper. I was thinking that today for sure. Dylan, thank you, man. Gonna miss you off season. I'll be here in the off season. I'll also be on the, I'll be out doing Blue Heaven, the live stream on Mondays too. But I'm gonna be doing videos. It's the same. But thanks, Aldolfo. Thanks to all you guys, really, man. Thank you, D-Mac, you're the best. No Bueller or healthy Tony G. That definitely hurt. Belly's gone. Thanks, and Rocks. But thanks, guys, as always here. Sergio, thank you very much. Thanks, D-Mac. Thanks, Gary A. Juan, we got Hugh Hoy. Thank you. I'll read that one after. Thanks, Craig. All you guys make the show what it is. Thank you, guys. Ozzie Gein for manager. D-Mac the GOAT. Depressing Delirium. Yep. But thanks, guys, as always. Remember, nothing brings us together for the good and the bad like Dodgers baseball. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. And if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. Thanks to Anthony Keene. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Marco. Thanks, Al. Thanks, Tommy. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, all you guys. And we'll see you soon. So freaking sad. It's okay. Like Vince Scully said, in the history of the Brooklyn and Los Angeles Dodgers, nothing ever comes easy. And they called them dem bums for a reason, right? So you'll get, there's always next year. Next year will be the Dodgers year. But see you guys next time. Thanks, Fernie. Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Moose. You guys are the best. And enjoy rest of your weekend, guys. And we'll be back with you soon. I'll drop some stuff. We'll keep doing live streams. But thank you very much. But see you guys. See you guys next time, and as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
It's time.